When people buy something in life, they typically look to get the most for their money. They look for true value. Now, why should computers be any different than this? The average user will use this computer mainly for emails, web browsing, some research, maybe some word processing and spreadsheets, but really nothing fancy. However, some people believe that Macs have something special about them that makes them a better value than PCs. This typically isn't true for the home user. The plain fact is that PCs are more cost effective than Macs. Now, to start things out today, I decided to break it down into a simple chart. Grouped here are a PC and a Mac of equivalent hardware. The first column is a 13-inch i5 computer. Now, the Apple computers, the prices are from the Apple website, whereas the PC ones are from the computer store that I work at, Colonial Computers, through our distributor D&H. Now, for the 13-inch i5, from the Apple store, it's really going to cost you about $1,100. For this, you get an i5 processor, which is really good. It's not quite the fastest, but it's a good middle-line computer. You get 500 gigabytes of hard drive space and 4 gigs of RAM. Now, the exact same computer, except for a little bit bigger screen, from us would only cost you about $650. It's really a pretty big difference for the same hardware. Now, the middle column is the 15-inch i7 range. This one is a little bit faster than the other ones, and it has a little bit bigger screen. From the Apple store, it's going to cost you about $1,800. However, from me and the computer store I work at, it would only cost you about $680. It's over $1,000 in difference. But that's not the most exaggerous of these examples. The third example is actually for the 17-inch i7 computer. Now, that's a bigger screen than the other one, and it's actually a little bit better hard drive. It's got a bit more space and more memory in it. From the Apple store, it's going to cost you $2,500. However, from us, it only costs you just a little bit over $1,000 at $1,012. So it has a $1,500 difference for the same exact hardware. However, if the cost is so high for the Macs compared to the PCs for the same computer, you surely must be getting something for your money. However, there's actually a lot of myths about Macs that aren't true. For example, many people believe that Mac hardware is better than PC, but as I said, it's the same exact materials. They actually have the same lifespan. Now, for a laptop, that's about 3 to 5 years. After that time, the chance for anything failing, such as the motherboard or the hard drive or the chipset, really increases daily. Macs have no exception to this. Their hardware fails just as often as PCs. But even the software doesn't have that big of an advantage. People believe that Macs aren't susceptible to viruses. This is strictly a lie. Now, it's true that there aren't as many viruses out there for Macs than PCs, but that's only because the number of Macs is smaller than the number of PCs. However, they're just as susceptible to viruses. A big one that hit recently was called the Mac Defender. This was a virus that posed as an antivirus software and tried to get people to give up their credit card information to renew to solve all these problems. It's not true, but it hit Macs just like it hit PCs. It's also true that Macs are good for the artsy things in life, such as graphics or music or that sort of thing. But for most people, they don't need it. Very few people in life really need what the Mac specializes in. Therefore, they're paying extra for things they're not going to use. However, sometimes numbers aren't enough for people, and they really need a personal experience. Luckily, I have first-hand experience in this. When I went to college 4 years ago, my girlfriend and I both went at the same time. She went to Mary Washington and I went to UVA. We had the same requirements for what our computer should be. She chose to get a Mac and I got a PC. Now, my computer cost me about $550. It was a good middle-line computer, nothing more than I needed, and it met all my needs. I've also had no problems with this computer. No hardware failures, no software failures, nothing has gone wrong with it. She, on the other hand, got a Mac computer. And it's true she hasn't had any problems with hers either, but while she has the same needs and doesn't do anything else strenuous with her computer, she paid over $1,100 for it, about twice as much as I did for mine, and she's really getting nothing more for her money. So in conclusion, some people really believe that Macs offer more than they do. It's just not true. They're overpaying for the same thing, and when it really comes down to it, PCs are just more cost effective than Macs. Thank you.